It's official. I've got the script out. So we said we're going to have an announcement today. We're going to do this announcement. It is going to take 9 minutes, I think. Okay? Now, you will have some questions for us on this announcement, absolutely guaranteed. And what I urge you to do is write them down, okay? I want you to write the questions down that you have for us. This is really important, because we will not have the capacity to take questions about it right now. Okay, make sense? We all agreed with that? Good. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, good. So it's going to be split into two. I'm doing part one, Cara's doing part two. We're a team, double act. We're here to fuck shit up. Let's do this. So, does anyone get the Step Brothers joke? I don't know if one person did, maybe.
Got it.
We got it, Chris. It's a tired joke. So there'll be many of you in the room. In fact, quite a lot of you have either heard of, been to, or even worked at CMA Live over the last 5 years. It's been an incredible event. Quite, I think quite simply the cornerstone of CMA's community and the benchmark for other business events that have come after that as well, right? A lot of the events that have come after have simply taken on and have been inspired by CMA Live. It happens every June. It happens in June every year and showcases unbelievable talents from all over the world. It has some of the greatest marketing speakers on our stage. And it's amazing to watch people coming to Edinburgh, flocking in, coming into the venue and having that, that heartwarming community feel. It's a fun and exciting 3 days. The buzz, the atmosphere, the collective admiration, what we have at our events is simply incredible. Even likes of Anne Handley, who in my mind runs one of the best events in the world in marketing, adores our event for what it is. She thinks it's truly special. But I'm here today, or Cara and I are here today, to tell you that CMA Live in 2019 will not be going ahead. In the next 10 minutes or so, Cara and I are going to be completely open and honest with you so we can be clear and as understood as possible. But what I want you to know before we go ahead is we have a problem, but we also have a solution. And like I said, just sit tight, write down any questions, any feelings you have about this, and we will address them, okay? We're going to be as open and honest as we can. So, back in October last year, I walked into the kitchen one night, because at the kitchen table, that's where all the special moments happen in our, along with wine and things like that too, but generally speaking, that's where we have our chats. I walked into the kitchen table, Cara's spread out across the table, she's got notepads, she's got laptops, she's upset, she's crying. And she just says to me, it's come to the end now, she's just like, I can't make this work. I can't make it work. What she was really telling me was that we can't do this anymore. And Cara mirrored my exact feelings, because up until I saw those words come out of her mouth, the only reason CMA Live existed was down to my blinded faith and struggling through, hustling, that determination. I was suffering, but I didn't know until I could see it in someone else. Cara was like a mirror. Thinking back to even the first CMA Live, 2014 in Glenrothes, we had struggled to put that event together. So it's been 5 years of struggling to do this thing. Every single year since then, it's been every single day is CMA Live, every day. It's not just because this only happens for 2 days in the year, it's every day for me and every day for us. We've strung out on the costs to try and make it the best business event that we could based on something that I would want to go to. A lot of that was about thinking about the customer experience and trying to make it a different experience for everybody each year, including myself. So I headed every decision with my expectations on delivering an event that I believed in, with absolutely no compromise, and all to the detriment of the business as a whole, CMA as a whole, and more importantly, to the person that I love the most. Now my actions, something that I've created, was having a negative impact on someone else, and that's when it broke. So this negative impact that CMA Live was having on my family and my friends and even my parents, everybody around me, it had to change. And that was the moment we put a close to CMA Live in October. And now it's been a case of figuring out, well, how do we actually do this? Because I got CMA Live into this vicious cycle that we were committed to. The previous 2 years of CMA Live have cost the business a lot of money. Not least in 2018, a running cost of £70,000 and at a loss of £39,000. And this month marks our final repayment. So that's 7 months of working for nothing, essentially, to try and pay that back. And continuing this cycle would not only break Cara and I, but would have destroyed the business as well. Not to forget that Cara actually runs her own business, Gillis and Mackay, a 7-figure business. She's responsible for staff and their families and their business, responsible for her dad, her brothers, her uncle, responsible for generating revenue and running the company. Cara doesn't have another spare 4 months to spend on CMA Live or another forgiven baby and that maternity leave to give up for this thing. Back in February in 2018, just before Luna was born, we had to cut a keynote speaker to tell them that we couldn't do it with them anymore. We didn't have the money for that person. Cara told me the figures and explained exactly what we had to do to make CMA Live 18 work. And that meant Cara giving up her maternity leave. So at that stage, we were all in. We had to be. It was like, we're both going to go all in. We're going to make this thing work. We didn't have a choice. We were committed to you, to our customers, to the venue, to the speakers, the catering, the coffee. Everything is a commitment. We paid deposits. We signed contracts. We were essentially trapped inside our own thing that we had created. So on the run-up to CMA Live 2018, we already, as part of the way the business works, we have to sign up for the next year too. That's how it works. You commit in advance for these things. It's the nature of the beast. Nature of a beast, essentially, I have created. It doesn't have to be that way, but that's the way it became. So on committing to 2018, we had to commit to 2019 too. We had to pitch it to ourselves that we had to make it profitable. It had to work, or essentially it was the end of the business. We had Simon Sinek pitched, assembly rooms, 400 delegates, shitload of sponsorship, and we pegged it. The plan was a £75,000 profit. That was the plan. It was all there. And everything was riding on this plan. And it was the only thing that we could really hold on to when we pushed through CMA Live 2018, which was just, like, even thinking back to it was so painful. Cara's, nobody sees this. This is what happens. We run the event. You see the lights and the speakers and all the artwork and the design, but in the back end of this, Cara's literally sitting at the back table, moving money from one account to another, managing spreadsheets and accounts, trying to pay for things like, I don't know, just stuff, just everything, right? It's crazy. The other thing that people don't see is that selling for an event it's like a heartless task. It's almost impossible. The relentless knockbacks and constant disappointment was something that I'd faced many times before, but when Cara seen it for herself, when she actually went to do it and experienced it for herself, that's when she realized just how relentless it actually is. We're done begging people to buy tickets for CMA Live. That's what we had to do. We were done not making any money, borrowing money, asking people to accept payment plans and being terrified of the consequences of what could happen, staring at bank balances and messing around with spreadsheets, trying to get it all to tell a different story. The mental and physical energy it just takes to pull off 2 days, 2 single days in the whole year, that was our life. The huge compromise on the kids, the home life, and relying on, it says divine faith here, how ironic, that it all just works out. And the whole reason I set up my business was to be in control. That's why we're entrepreneurs, right? We have some control, choices, to make decisions. Rich and I were talking about this in the back there as well, being able to step back and to be able to make a choice. I didn't feel like I had a choice. It wasn't until I saw Cara that I felt like we had to make a choice. CMA Live was massive. It was a huge success. We had the best year yet. We had outstanding performances from some of the world's greats and a pure emotional ride from witnessing some of my best friends on the stage telling their story. And at the same time, Cara was looking after Luna and trying to make the money work and doing all that hard work behind the scenes, and no one really sees that. Now, I know that you don't get to love everything that you do in business. I've already said that today, right? You don't get to love everything. But CMA Live was killing us. It was actually a reason for me to hate my business. And everyone and everything around us was suffering because of it, including the work that I do. So it's actually a huge relief to be able to share this with you. to be able to stand here and tell you that we're done with CMA Live. It's a beast of an event, one that will be remembered for all the right reasons and talked about as if it was a mythical legend. I'm sorry if you never got to go to one. But had we run for another year and battered through and tried, the consequences don't really bear thinking about. By calling it now, we have some element of control, and we can get back. We can look back years from now and know this, that today was the best decision and the right one for the credibility of the event itself, meaning that our company can continue to grow and we can continue to maintain our important relationships as well. And who knows, in the next 5 years, the UK might be ready. But until then, we are moving on from CMA Live.
So. Hi. I want everybody who has bought a ticket for CMA Live to know that you will be getting a full refund, of course, and these will be done by the 30th of June. We'll start to issue the refunds on the 31st of March, and they'll be going out in date order that they were bought in. If you have any concerns about your refunds, I want you to speak to me directly, not Chris, me. And that's the refund chat done, okay? Let's move on with CMA and the new era that we're going into. Within the last quarter of this year, I can honestly say it's been the most positive and exciting time for CMA. And it's thanks to the clarity of our decision that has led us to entrusting good people to advise us through the next stage of our business. Alistair McGill, he breathes confidence and order into our finances. Rod McMillan, who isn't here today, because he's fanning around, stands as the strong, no bullshit sounding board for Chris and I. Employing Nick, hands down, is the best thing that I've ever done for CMA. Nick is a powerhouse. Her ability to process, to structure, to organize, to focus on every single last detail is just phenomenal. Having Nick has allowed us to create business relationships with companies that get what we are really doing and are willing to pay real money for it. In the last 3 months, we've taken on 3 private contracts, and it's basically just profit clever. And it's exactly what we need in order to keep the membership growing. Nick coined the expression, the Robin Hood effect. So we go out, we do big business, we come back, and we invest it into our membership for you guys. In 2019, you'll see CMA change. Content marketing will always be the foundations of what we stand for, and it's the one thing that comes from this is education. Learning new ways and teaching better business is just what we do. By working closely with our local universities here in Dundee and St Andrews, we'll gain accreditation for what we do within the membership, and this allows us to deliver short, impact-led courses. On leadership, which has probably been the most positive focus that we've had in 2018. WCC, our world-class communications event, was exactly what we needed to kickstart our new vision for 2019 and is the model that we will base all future events on. This means high-impact, one-expert-led events for optimal learning. We will also continue to run our fully booked free content marketing workshops throughout the year with Nicola teaching them. And this allows us to offer paid, intermediate and masterclass level classes alongside, again, educating. And the membership. We have about double the time now to focus on the membership this year, which has led to slightly warm, almost heated discussions between Chris, Nick and I. We just get a bit excited, that's all. New ideas. So we've got new technologies, slicker online experiences for our forum, our portal, our social media. Our content game is really strong. That's Nicola in the driving seat for that, for consistency. She's creating inspirational podcasts and practical, actionable videos. They'll continue to be at the forefront of our efforts, and with the help from the extremely good-looking and talented Rad Lad. And of course, Stoicism is a big deal for Chris, and that will shine throughout the year and allow all of us to individually work on our own personal development, key to all business development. We also want to further develop the brand and the structure of how the membership works. We'll be working alongside Cole, Pixels Inc. at the back there, and we're talking baseball league. It's in touch with our brand. It's something that we've talked about for, I don't know, 18 months, 2 years. That's usually how things go. We're talking spring training, regular season, and major league are going to be the levels of which people will become members within CMA, depending on where you start and where you finish. And there will be badges. Oh, yeah. So just one last thing before I get chucked off or exploit my power and getting too excited about all the new ideas and things like that. I just want to say at the end here that CMA was built on the integrity of Chris and his belief in all of us, our businesses and what we want to show the world. So now it's 6 years on and CMA is changing. A new era of business. And I have one question, and that is, are you coming with us?